bring some education to everyone so that we can continue to learn and grow and be the best we can be. That's part of our mission statement as an association. I don't know if all of you are members, but if you're not, I encourage you to become members. And if you are members, then you already know about all the different programs and things we offer. So first thing I wanted to talk about quickly this evening is, in my opinion, having been in the industry for a hot minute, probably close to 40 years at this point, I have seen a floral holiday here in Michigan, and it is regional, kind of see its peak and then kind of slide away from us. And we have not let go of it. And I really encourage all of you as retail florists to promote Sweetest Day, which is a week from Saturday. It's Saturday, October 16th. And when I say promote it, I mean promote it in such a way, whatever you do. I mean, social media, package tags, if you can get on local media and promote Sweetest Day, it's still something to some people. And I don't want to give up on it. And it's a great opportunity to get flowers in people's hands. And really the whole purpose of Sweetest Day, a lot of people say, oh, it's kind of like a Valentine's Day. Not really, because Sweetest Day is not really for love, if you will, where Valentine's Day is more geared towards that. Sweetest Day is more geared towards the fact that if you're fond of someone, or maybe they're just special to you in any kind of way, it's about a day to remember them and just say, thanks for being so sweet, basically. It was started by the candy company here in Metro Detroit. And it was really a regional holiday. So when I talk to people that are across the country, they go, what the heck is Sweetest Day? But we were fortunate to have it for many, many years. And I remember it being almost as busy as Valentine's Day. And so that's really kind of gone away. And I think partially because we've just given up on promoting it. So we still do. And I wanted to show you a couple quick things that we're doing for Sweetest Day. It's not too late to get on the bandwagon, promote it on your social media platforms, promote it, like I said, with package tags and things like that. Have your sales staff promote it. You'll be surprised, especially now, with the way people's mentality has changed with giving flowers and trying to make people feel better during this whole pandemic thing that we've all been dealing with. This is a great opportunity. I think Sweetest Day could really be strong this year if promoted correctly. So just a quick couple of things that we're doing. We do create these cheesy little flyers, and I call them cheesy because we just make them in-house. We don't spend a ton of money on it, but we do this every month. Every month we have a different flyer on our packages. My feeling has always been a delivery going out of your shop is an opportunity to market yourself, not just with beautiful flowers, but to convince that recipient to become your customer. And so a lot of times recipients don't know who you are, no matter what the community is. You know, whether you're in a small community, large community, the recipient may not have known about your shop. So this is a great opportunity. And this is just real simple. It just says Sweetest Day, Saturday, October 16th, fresh flowers, candy cards, plush, balloons, show a sweetie how you feel is what it says. And then it also takes the opportunity to talk about some of our upcoming things, such as our Halloween specials and decor. And our Holly location, we have a ladies' weekend coming up in November. So I took the opportunity to market that on there as well. So any kind of information you can get in people's hands. I know I call it cheesy little flyers, but you know, cheese brings in the mice, and if I can make a sale out of a couple of cheesy little flyers, I'm going to do it. And so put some together. They don't have to be anything overly special, but get the word out about Sweetest Day and anything else really going on at your shop, and put it on every single package that you send out. For Sweetest Day, we do a lot of wrap bouquets, and this is one of the wrap bouquets that we would promote. It has these beautiful Pink Floyd roses in it that I think all of you have come to realize are gorgeous. They open up gorgeous, they hold beautifully, and they're just a nice, beautiful, long-lasting rose. You know, a Sorbonne lily in here, which is going to give you some fragrance. Sunflowers, which are very popular. Notice the color palette is sort of autumn, but yet not. It's got pops of color. Sweetest Day still is pops of color. I always like to put in a little bit of lime green pop for that. And then, of course, the beautiful Montecasino, that variety actually is a Mardi Gras variety. So you get several laterals per stem. Just be careful on your pricing with that, because You only get maybe 4 stems in a bunch. So you have to be careful on how you break those laterals apart and how you charge for those. Packaging. Notice how I wrapped it. I wrapped it in cellophane and tissue that kind of color complements the bouquet. This is what people look for. Packaging is very important in your shops today. People can buy flowers anywhere, and you're not going to see packaging like this just anywhere. So kind of give it some upgrade and give it that type of thing. We also brand everything with a ribbon that we print, and we have imprinted ribbon. I did a little larger one here, and we imprint ribbon with our company name and logo on it. Again, this is a way of branding so that the recipient knows, oh, these are beautiful. Where'd they come from? It has your name all over it. It has they have a place to go back to. So encourage some branding going on as well. So for Sweetest Day, we have the colorful bouquet, and then we also have the an autumn bouquet. Wrap bouquets seem to be the pop. Yes.
Can I jump in? We've got one question. Kathy's wondering, what is the pod sticking out?
Oh, these are Eclipsis branch. It's kind of hidden down in there, but it's got the large pods on it. I'm sure you've all seen it at your market. Eclipsis branch. Some people call them by another by a more common name that they just call in the industry, but I don't want to call it that to a consumer. So they call them Shrek balls. A lot of people do. Even some of my suppliers call them that. And it's like, okay, that's not the terminology we want to use with our clients. So we call it Eclipsis because that's what it is. And it does have does secrete a sap. So you got to be careful about that, kind of like a milkweed. It is in the milkweed family. Okay, hopefully that helped out. I just get it. All the flowers tonight, by the way, were generously provided by DWF, and I really appreciate their support. This is DWF in Toledo that helped me out. That's who I deal with. All your wholesalers are great, and I'll have really great product right now. And we'll talk more about that in a little bit. But this is more of a fall colored mixed bouquet that we put together. Again, I was saying for Sweetest Day, we sell a lot of grab and go mixed bouquets. And again, when we do the wraps, we can do the colorful wrap, or we can do something a little bit more organic, tie it with a piece of string, and use the brown craft paper as a wrap. We do that a lot. And then we stamp the paper as well. If you can see that in there, we stamp it with our logo and our website and stuff. So everything is branded, and that's what kind of makes it special and lets them know where it came from. Okay. Sound good, Rod? Sweetest Day, week from Saturday. Don't forget, Amy will be expecting something.
I love my sweetie. She's got
I know you
flowers.
do. I know you do.
Lots of flowers.
And she loves flowers, and that's what's great about it. So Sweetest Day, Saturday, October 16th, a week from Saturday. So you still have time to promote that and get on the bandwagon. Again, candy is popular. We sell gourmet truffles. We sell a ton of gourmet truffles. So if you don't have a great candy line, consider getting some candy and promoting that both on your website as well as in person in your shop, because we pretty much, I would say every third client will do a truffle add-on, and that's a lot of truffles. And we sell them in 3s, 6s, and dozens. So they're a beautiful hand-dipped gourmet truffle that we get. So, and we just wrap them up real cute in the box, and they're good to go. So anyways, we sell those year round. People love them. As I always tell people, say, oh, are they good? I always said, no one's ever returned any. So I guess they're good, right? Because who doesn't like a good truffle once in a while? Anyway, so next holiday up would be, let's see, it would be Halloween. So, and fall, really, Thanksgiving, that type of thing. So I'm going to kind of merge those two together. Couple things for that. Again, as we all know, part of what we're going to talk about tonight is the changing world that we're all living in, with the challenges of getting certain products and dealing with clients that sometimes can be a little bit more demanding than we are liking them to be. But how do we deal with that, and how do we manage that is really what it's all about. People still are buying flowers. It's a great time to be in the flower business. It's just a difficult time because for some of us, we're struggling with getting enough staff to cover the volume. But at the same time, you can adjust your volume by adjusting your prices and by adjusting what it is that you're able to offer. And so I wanted to show this because one of the bigger challenges I think many of us face in the industry right now is design help. And so what does that look like? How hard is it to get a designer? How difficult is it to train a designer? Rodney, I don't know if we have a link to this former workshop on our website or not, or even if we can, but I know that for our spring, I think it was our spring conference, wasn't it?
They're all at www.glfee.com,
Okay.
glyphy.com. And up in the top menu bar, you'll see a link that says recorded sessions. And
Yes.
you can view all of the sessions from this spring's virtual conference there.
Who did the workshop on talking about what consumers really want in a floral design?
Oh, well, that was presented by Jackie Lacey, president of AIFD, past president, and Renato Segecco.
Yes.
The study was actually conducted by Dr. Charlie Hall down at Texas A&M. Was funded by the American Floral Endowment. A lot of really good information there. I believe it was the last session at the expo. But yeah,
right, it was from the spring conference, correct?
Yes,
Yeah, that's what I thought.
You'll find it there on the website.
So with that, please check out that link because it's an amazing presentation they did. And the funny part is that we as floral designers put way too much effort into what we're doing based on what a consumer really wants. And we find that the challenges we face as florists today are often self-inflicted because we're not asking the right questions, we're not guiding the consumer down the right path, or in some cases, what I find with our customers is we just ask too many questions. They just want a beautiful arrangement delivered that's going to put a smile on somebody's face or convey a message, whatever that may be that they're trying to convey, whether it be a sympathy or, you know, whatever that case may be. And so this is certainly part of that. And what I wanted to show is this is just a novelty container for fall. It's a lined metal container. And what this is actually is a pre-made bouquet. So it's a pre-made bouquet. And what's great about this is I can control the costs on this. So those of you that are owners and managers, pre-made bouquets are the way to go because this is a controlled cost. I know exactly how much I paid for this whole bundle. And then if I want to add anything into it, I can then control what added dollars I put. So it also makes designing much easier because quite honestly, I took this bouquet, I chopped the stems off, I flopped it into the container. It kind of fell loosely apart. And you'll notice I even used the wrap. I pushed that right down in around the flowers so that I incorporated that. I just removed the plastic cellophane part. And then I added some of this wonderful willow eucalyptus around the outside perimeter, a little bit of the Montecasino and a couple stems of Hypericum. And it's a pretty arrangement. And it's not overly designed, shall I say, but it's very sellable and it's what customers want. They want a beautiful bouquet of fall flowers that they can either send to someone or put on their table. And this kind of fills that. And I didn't have to spend a lot of labor dollars on it. I still charge a labor fee because I'm still designing it, but I need to figure out where I'm going to be profitable today in today's marketplace because the world has changed and the cost of product has really skyrocketed. So we need to adjust our product pricing as well. I'm sure all of you are feeling the exact same challenges we are, and that is the price of product, both fresh products as well as hard goods, if you can even get them. And so that's why a designer's choice design or a color palette, if you would, maybe fall tones or pastels is kind of the way to sell today. Not it's going to have 2 sunflowers, 3 circus roses, 4 Hypericum. You can't really do that. You really have to sell the color palette. And we've actually been talking about it for a long time, but now I feel that with the pandemic and the changes that we're all facing, we're really basically being forced into what we've been telling each other to do for some time. So it's really perfect, really, because it makes us much more profitable. And it makes us able to meet the client's needs because it's still a very pretty arrangement and people love it. and it's real simple. So I hope some of you are taking advantage of purchasing pre-made bouquets. Again, through any of your local wholesalers, you can buy pre-made mixed bouquets and then create your own in-house specials, if you will. You can create designs, put photographs on your website, push them out on social media, that type of thing. Customers just want beautiful flowers. And that's what really that whole workshop seminar that was presented back in the spring was really about, is that sometimes as floral designers, we think it has to be extremely artistically designed. And there is a client for that. I'm not saying there isn't. It's just the bulk of our sales can really be just beautiful flowers, because that's really what they want. And so that's where we're headed down. And that's the path we're taking. And yet you still have to control costs. And if I had to buy all these flowers individually, I'd never be able to afford to do it at this price point, because I mean, it's got 2 great kales in there, and it's got 5 roses, 3 sunflowers. I mean, it's a beautiful mixed bouquet. So keep that in mind when you're purchasing, and look at maybe how you can incorporate pre-made bouquets into your design aspect as well going forward for especially the fall and holiday season that we're fast approaching. And soon, I hate to say it, but we'll be into Valentine's Day. And I don't think, based on what I'm hearing, there's going to be any changes in flower availability. There's still going to be a lot of challenges. There's still going to be a lot of costs involved. Shipping fees have skyrocketed. Availability of glass products and many giftwares are strained, to say the least. And the prices on all of it are going up. I just spoke to a supplier who said, in fact, a few weeks ago, we did a Zoom meeting on this through the Floral Association. And one of the suppliers said that they were paying for $4,500 to $5,000 for a shipping container to come across the ocean full of product. And the last quote he got was $28,000. So that's a huge increase just on shipping. So obviously those costs are going to just go on down the line. They're going to come to us, and we don't have a choice, but we have to pass it on to our clients. I'm sure you're all facing this too, and just had a gentleman in the other day, and we told him the price of our roses, and he goes, "Whoa, they're really expensive." And I just responded, well, not really, based on what you're going to get out of them. I mean, you're going to present these roses to someone that are going to be so impressed that you brought them roses. You're going to reap the rewards far beyond the fee. And he kind of stopped for a second, and then he goes, yeah, you're right, you're right. And so I think sometimes we as florists have to change how we're answering the questions. Why are your flowers so expensive? Do they really care? No, they just want to know why your flowers are so expensive. And my response is, they're not, based on what we're having to pay for them today. Our flowers are still very affordably priced, and we're doing everything possible to keep our flower prices cost effective so that you can enjoy them on a regular basis and just move forward. So that's what we're doing a little bit for fall. Ceramic pumpkin, have that. Of course, that's a staple. Everybody loves a little ceramic pumpkin centerpiece thing for Halloween or for Thanksgiving. It's a little harvest bouquet. Again, keeping in mind product combinations, I did a couple Anastasia Fujimums down low. And then I added a little bit of the tinted Solidago, which, if you're not carrying this tinted Solidago, I really encourage you to do that. Everybody's all crazy about it. It comes in all kinds of colors anymore: white, purple, orange, green, you name it. You can get Solidago tinted colors, and people love it. You know, there was a time where I thought, oh, everything's got to be earthy and natural and all this stuff. And then I realized, yeah, it does. And I like that personally. But again, I'm in retail, and do I have to sell only what I like personally, or am I going to sell what my clients really want? And when we brought in the tinted products, both in foliages as well as in the tinted Solidagos, we also carry regularly some sort of tinted dyed novelty rose, whether it be the rainbow roses or that bright royal blue rose, or there's some on the market called the Hulk, and they're like a hot pink and lime green mixture. They're all painted tinted roses. And there were things that I personally don't want, and I know how some of these things affect the longevity of product, but I do have an audience of people that don't care about the longevity of the product. They just want it for the moment. And so and they're not they're not inexpensive. You know, we're selling for $12.99 a stem for a rose, just based on how much we have to pay for them. And people buy them. They actually love them and they keep asking for more. So keep that in mind. But in this particular case, I wanted to keep the design simple and basic, but yet loose and free, like a lot of our designs are these days. And it's miniature dianthus, the 2 Fuji mums, some solidago, and some hypericum with the mixed foliages. And it's a real simple design to create. That way, if I have some folks on staff that I'm training to design, this is an easy design to show someone to make, and it's a good beginner's arrangement, but yet it's very sellable and a great look for the harvest season. So ceramic pumpkins are here to stay and everybody loves them. Next thing I have, let's see, let's do this one. A little bit more of a contemporary thing because I wanted to kind of show these side by side, because this is a cornucopia design. I don't know how many of you do cornucopias. I actually have some staff members, and you know, like I said, I'm in the industry almost 40 years. I have some staff members, when I said, go get me some of those cornucopias, they didn't know what the heck I was talking about. They didn't know what a cornucopia was because they never were exposed to it. So you got to keep that in mind too. Don't assume people know. But once you show them what it is, and that it's a cone-shaped harvest-looking bouquet, that it's beautiful for a centerpiece on a table, if people are going to get together this year for Thanksgiving, which I sense they will be more so than last year. And if they're not, it's still a great gift for the season. And again, we put a couple mini pumpkins in there and gave it a lot of textures and color that says the holiday season. I wanted to do this container, which is a little bit more of a contemporary modern container, because I would show this more, this and this, as like a modern cornucopia feel and a traditional cornucopia feel. And this is a look that people love as well. And it's suitable for a table. It's still elongated. It's got beautiful coffee break roses incorporated in it, which of course we all know and love. It's got some sedum down low, yarrow, wax flower, some of the great different textures with the wax flower and the eucalyptus and stuff. So this is just designed in water. There's no foam in here. So again, as a salesperson, I want to tell my clients this design is created in water. And they're going to look at you and say, okay, great. I thought all flowers were in water. No, some use floral foam, some are directly in water. And when flowers are in water, they tend to have a longer lifespan. And that's because they can drink better. So those are all important tips that add value for them to shop at your store. And that's what we all need to work on, because again, I remember to tell you, and I remind my staff regularly, people don't have to buy flowers at your store. They choose to buy flowers at your store. And why do they choose to do it? Maybe it's just simply they were driving by, but I would like to think it's because of the service, because of the quality of the product, and because of the fact that you can offer them something unique and different that they don't get anywhere else. So those are really the keys to being successful today in the marketplace, is to really promote that. Promote the fact that, you know, we have beautiful flowers and we present them in a unique and beautiful way, and we educate you while you're here. So people love that. People like the fact that you give them knowledge and you call a rose by its name and that type of thing. You know, call this agonis. It's not just that wispy burgundy stuff. It's agonis. That's what it's called. And it's a type of foliage and it's beautiful and people love it. And so when you tell them that, it gives you the edge over other places. I had a lady in here about 2 weeks ago. She stopped in, and I happened to be walking across the sales floor at the time and just greeted her and said, I hope you're having a great day or something. And she goes, I just want to tell you. She goes, are you an owner? And I go, well, it depends on why you want to know that. And and then once we joked, we laughed about it. And then I said, well, how can I help you? And she said, I just want to tell you, I've stopped to 3 other flower shops before I came here. I've never been here before, but based on the quality of the product I'm seeing that you have available, the amount of product that you have as far as selection, And the fact that the people greeted me when I walked in the door, I'm not going anywhere else ever again. And I said, okay, great. Tell your friends, come on back. It'll be great. And I can't tell you how many times I hear from customers that they went into a different establishment, flower shops generally, or another retail store. And the thing that annoyed them the most is they were not greeted. That's basic 101 retail, folks, and really need to think about that. No one in your store is too busy to pay attention to a new client that just walked in the door. Remember that. And maybe if you're busy, maybe you need to appoint someone and that's all they're going to do, because it's powerful. People like the fact that you acknowledge them when they walk in. I'm not going to say we're perfect at it, because there's times where my sales staff are all either on the phones or with clients and someone walks in, but they all know, even if they're with someone, they say, excuse me one moment, and they turn and they look at the person that came in and say, I'll be with you in just a minute as soon as I'm done with this guest. And they usually respect that and say, okay, thank you very much. And then they continue to browse, but yet you've made that initial impact with them. And they were very, very taken back by it, really, because they don't get it very much anymore. So that's a very powerful thing that we all, I mean, I learned it, years ago. It was one of the first things you learn in retail. I was in retail, another facet of retail prior to the floral industry. And it's just a rule of thumb with every retail store. Why do you think Walmart has greeters? It's exactly why. And why do you think Walmart is so successful? Because when you walk in the door, somebody greets you. And, they may not be the most robust greeting that you get, because sometimes I think they become a little canned, but keep that in mind at your flower shop and see what you can do about just simply greeting people when they come in. It's amazing what response you'll get from that. So anyways, those are my two cornucopias. And I know cornucopias can be a bit of a challenge because this is what they look like. And then people say, well, how do you put the foam in there? And what do you do? And blah, blah, blah. So I quickly wanted to show you, I just take one of the inexpensive design bowls and I use a third of block of floral foam. And after soaking it, I just place it on there. And then I take my, my wet tape that I use, and I would go simply, I would start on the side of the container like this. Notice I'm putting my foam the way I want my arrangement to go. So I'm not going this way, I'm going this way. And so I just put my tape on there, and then I just simply bring it all the way around like that. And that way it's on there super stable, because if I'm putting things in like mini pumpkins and things like that, this is heavy. I mean, it's got some weight to it, which is good because that adds perceived value. When a customer picks it up, they go, oh, that's worth something when it's kind of heavy like that. And so those mini pumpkins in there add a fair amount of weight, and you want to make sure this is stable, especially if you're doing it in delivery. So keep that in mind, make it very secure like that. And it's really a great way to make sure that your cornucopia is going to be nice and stable and they're going to be able to enjoy it. So I'm going to set these back over here so that our little set looks pretty still. Of course, I got this fun little pumpkin. I had to bring that out. Look at that. Look at how I found that at the farmer's market. It's got all these vine and stuff on it. And they go, oh, we can cut those off. And I go, oh, no, don't cut them off. I love that. And so they thought it was weird, of course, but that's all right. I'm used to that. It's all good. And so I wanted to show this little plant as well. As we all have learned, plant sales have been amazing as well. So it's just a little calancho pot in this little 4-inch autumn colored lined container. And then what I did is I took a couple of the tillandsias or air plants and stuck them in there and added a little red twig dogwood. Just a simple little grab and go. Somebody's going to meet somebody for lunch, take them a little something, put a smile on their face. It's just super simple and easy. I want to get something. I'm going to step out for a quick second. I have I have done this a million times, and I know many of you have probably seen it, but I do hot glue on foam, and I'm sure you've all seen it. So this is just hot pan glue. My pan's over there and my cord's not long enough, so that's why I had to step out. But I let it get a little stringy like this. So we're letting it cool because that's what you want it to do. And then you can just do this. And we do this over all kinds of arrangements for the fall, for the Halloween season, and just create some spider webbing. And you can get some of those little inexpensive plastic spider wings and rings and stick it on there. And then you got a great little Halloween arrangement. And people love that for the holiday season. And same with this pumpkin, you can put webbing across it like that and make it into a Halloween spooky arrangement, if you will. And it's so simple, it's so easy. And I got glue all over my tablecloth, so that's great. But anyways, be careful with it, it does make a mess. But you can see how easy it is to add some webbing to something and then create a line of Halloween influenced designs as well. You can also do it over a wrap bouquet if you want, because people love it. They just say, oh, can I add webbing? Sure, no problem. We can add webbing to that. And then obviously there's a fee for that. So add a webbing fee and you can give it the Halloween flair if you want for X amount of dollars, whatever that needs to be at your shop. But you can see how that works and it turns out really cool. And what was just a fall arrangement is now kind of a little bit more spooky and Halloween influenced, if you will. So just something kind of fun. Any more questions on Halloween or Thanksgiving or any of those holidays?
Nothing in the chat window yet, Jerome, but please enter your questions.
Did they all leave?
We'll be happy to.
I can't see anybody. So did they all leave or what?
Oh, we've got.
Okay, they're still there. Good, beautiful.
Everybody's still here.
Just want to make sure.
I like that webbing. That webbing was cool.
Oh yeah, but we've been doing that for 100 years. It's just, you know, sometimes I like to show these things because even for my own benefit, you know, you've done it a million times, but then, you know, that it's back, you know, we're back to the fall holiday season. And it's like, oh my God, I forgot about that. You know, I forgot about how cool that was and how easy it is. And so it's just kind of fun. So anyways, the next little section that I wanted to do was basically, and again, a lot of tonight is really about some of the dialogue I want to share. That's why I really want to encourage questions from everyone, because it's not just about the floral designs per se. Note to self, if you get glue on the tablecloth, don't rub on it until it's dry, because then it'll peel right off, which of course I didn't do. I rubbed on it, so now I got a mess. But anyway, the next thing I wanted to talk about was some sympathy work. And I didn't really make a whole lot of sympathy designs just because y'all know how to make a sympathy arrangement. But I did want to share with you a couple sympathy designs, but more so, I wanted to talk about the sympathy industry and how it is right now. I don't know how you are all feeling sympathy at the moment, but there is a lot of sympathy work going on, obviously. I have some of my funeral homes that are super, super busy, and I have others that are kind of medium busy, but funeral homes are a lot like we are, and they are, you know, they fluctuate up and down. But a couple things. One, plants, don't forget plants, and don't forget to upsell, because people will spend a fair amount on a plant. And there's a lot more plants than peace lilies, just so you know. I know everybody wants peace lilies, and I know there was a shortage on peace lilies. There was a shortage on pretty much everything. But that shortage on peace lilies is a little bit easing up a little bit. If we could just get some blooms on them now, that would be nice. Some of them are blooming, some of them aren't. But again, those are things that we all lived through and had to deal with clients that we had to educate them. Yes, I have a peace lily. Unfortunately, it's not blooming right now. What do you mean it's not blooming? It is on your website. And yes, but the one on the website was taken a long time ago when they were blooming, and this one is not blooming. However, if you care for it properly, it will bloom. But in the meantime, may I suggest that we add some loose cut flowers in with that, or maybe even some silk or permanent materials in with that to give a little bit more of an effect. We can do that for X amount of dollars and then kind of upsell those plants. Don't let the customers run the sale, I guess is really what I'm trying to say, because that's when you run into challenges. If a customer is in charge of the sale, you have to remain in charge of the sale. So in this particular case, it's Hawaiian Cheffilera that's been upgraded into a nice ceramic container. It's a very sleek and clean line, so it's very appropriate for pretty much any home decor if someone were to take it home after the services. And it has a keepsake in it. Keep in mind, as we're currently in a situation where we're finding it challenging to find some of the foam shapes being available. So like crosses and hearts and wreath rings and things like that. If you don't have any left and you can't get any, then just say, what about sending something with a keepsake item in it, and then promote your angels or your stepping stones or plaques or whatever else it is that you carry that would be appropriate. Wind chimes are selling well, those type of things. So there's always something, but keep in mind, if someone wanted to send a heart wreath form, if you will, and you don't have a heart form, then what do you suppose that message was that they were trying to convey? So that's really what you need to capitalize on. How can we still say that message that you're trying to say with some of the other product we already have that is available to us? So keep that in mind. This is a beautiful angel. It's a keepsake that's in there. When I insert angels and keepsakes like this, it's on a wooden stick is how I mechanically did this. And it is simply has a hyacinth stake on the back, and I taped it to the back of the angel. I made sure the tape I'm using is the type of tape that's not going to ruin the finish. So, because it is a keepsake. But then the most important part is I cut the stake appropriate length so it goes pretty far down into the soil, but at the same time that this is resting on the lip of the container, which gives it support. So you don't want them just cattywampus dancing around inside the plant because the stick's going to break, because funeral directors are not careful with this. I just want to tell you. So keep that in mind, that things still need to be very secure, because it's very sad if you send the keepsake and then it gets broken before somebody actually gets it home. So keep that in mind. Secure the items, suggest plants. Plants are an easy sale for a sympathy tribute, whether it be going to a home, a memorial service, or to an actual funeral home viewing. People love plants, and someone can take it home and enjoy it. This particular piece, I wanted to just simply talk about. This is gladiolas. It's one full bunch of gladiolas. They're gorgeous. Look how beautiful that is. And it's a great color. It's kind of a coral color. And then I just did this ribbon effect. But what I wanted to say simply about sympathy work was try to create sympathy work that stands out from the rest of the work at the funeral home or at a viewing or at a memorial service, because those are the pieces people notice. When you make traditional funeral work because you say that's what my customers want, well, maybe that's because that's all your customers know. So we have really worked hard at educating our consumer to trust us and to really listen to the fact that we can send something that's going to be more distinctive. Keep in mind, when people send flowers for sympathy, they really want to make sure that the people they're sending, the loved ones of the deceased, recognize that they sent flowers. So what better way than to make something that stands out from the crowd, okay? So that's not a beautiful and blue vase. Can I just tell you that? Although we sell a ton of them and they're still pretty and people like them. But what is the attraction there while I'm talking about that? Is it the blue vase and the combination of white flowers? So have you considered taking that blue vase and create your own design out of a combination of white flowers and put that out there in the universe? Because I think it would really sell. Beautiful in Blue is a very sellable arrangement. It's one of our top selling arrangements, actually. People love it. But then we also have other designs that we've created by using a very similar vase in different colors. We have a beautiful in purple, we have beautiful in pink. We have all these different color palettes because we just got the same style of vase in a different color and created beautiful arrangements, monochromatic in that design, a design in it with those flowers. And they sell well. People like that feel and that look. So keep that in mind. This particular sympathy design, like I said, is just 10 stems of gladiolas. And then I did a ribbon effect of aspidistra around the bottom. That ribbon effect is so simple. I don't staple. I don't use any of those kind of things. I simply take my knife and I cut the stem at an angle. like this. And then I just bend the leaf over, and then I insert the stem through the leaf and have it come through like that. And that becomes the insertion. So that's what this is. Okay. So it's just simply inserted into the foam and creates that look and feel of a ribbon of greenery around the base. I guarantee you, if I deliver this to a funeral home visitation, there will not be another piece there that looks like this at all, not even close. And so why not? That's what you want. That's what your customers want. They want something different and something a little bit more unique. So talk a little bit more about sympathy work, because I know in many times when I am in a live audience, the question is always about working with funeral homes. I don't know if anyone has commented anything in the chat about that, Rodney, but relationships with funeral homes are important to have those relationships. Some funeral homes want a percentage of a sale or a stipend, if you will. I don't use the word kickback because it's really not, in my opinion, a kickback, and kickbacks are really illegal in the sympathy business. But a stipend is not illegal, and a stipend is not something that I'm in any way upset about paying, because if a funeral director is going to do the work of making the sale and just give me the order, then I don't have to pay a salesperson to do it. So I'm happy to pay a stipend on something like that. Some of my funeral homes don't want anything and they just refer business to us. And then there's also the order gatherers that have the websites at the funeral homes. And I want to address that real quickly because that's always an ongoing challenge and people get concerned about that. Just know that there is still people that work at those places. They have jobs and people use the service all the time. That brings me right back to the fact of what I said. When you get an order in from another service, please make sure you're using it as a mechanism to market your business so that in the future, they may call you direct. That's the important part of it all. Some of the funeral homes are using websites hosted by some of these, as I will call them, order gatherers. And it's our job to manage that. Now, I know there's some shops that are adamant that I'm not filling any of those orders and they can just go stuff it. Well, the reality is somebody's going to fill them and somebody's probably going to get that business. And the reality is that if you talk to them and get in on the phone with them, you can build a relationship with them that actually can be profitable. They're just trying to do a job as well. And so I've had those opportunities, and I've got a few funeral homes that we work with closely that we get orders that way. And I'll fill them all day long because I get very profitable orders from them. They're not, your $29.99 cube vase arrangement or anything like that. I'm getting my price that I need for it, plus my delivery fees and that type of thing. So I really don't have a problem with filling some of those orders. I know that's a very controversial topic and some people will have concerns about that, but you have to do what's right for your business. And my point is I will supply flowers to anybody as long as I can make a profit at it, because that's what I'm in business for. And if I have to work really hard and not make money, I'm not doing it. Just not doing it anymore. I mean, we used to scramble like crazy, and at the end of the day, we go, now what the heck did we do that for? And so I think this whole pandemic has given us the opportunity to be smarter and wiser and kind of scale our business to where we want it to be. And the business is out there. We can really be profitable right now. And I hope all of you are really taking the opportunity to do this. It's not easy, still not easy, trust me. Managing your social media platforms, managing your website, managing all the different areas in which you get communications from and all that type of thing, it can make you crazy, trust me. And then on top of it, you got managing your staff and managing your product or lack thereof and all that kind of stuff. And now you got people calling you and saying, you want to pre-order for Valentine's Day. It's like, oh my gosh, I didn't even get to Halloween yet. So, and I don't even know what Valentine's Day is going to be like, so keep that in mind. There's sympathy business to be had, and sympathy business is really flourishing right now. It's just changed, but we already all know that. There's memorial services, there's short notices, there's all kinds of things going on. We've had many, many, many funerals this year that were a husband and wife. So we did double funerals and things like that. So there's all kinds of things. People need our help. So just, again, decide how you want to handle that and help them the best of your ability, because those people really will become loyal customers with you on an ongoing basis if you treat them very well and take care of their needs, especially when they're having a bereavement situation. So, all right, last but not least, wanted to talk briefly about weddings, because we all do weddings or have the opportunity to do weddings. And I wanted to quickly do something about weddings and talk a little bit about weddings. So I don't know how many of the listeners actually do weddings. So hopefully you do. Again, weddings are also a situation that has changed. I mean, we still have people asking for weddings a year or two in advance. And then I have people asking for weddings next weekend. I have people calling today asking for flowers for this weekend. It's all over the board. And I've never seen anything quite like it, but I think it's a situation where a lot of people are just trying to get their wedding in before they don't know what the heck's going to go on in the winter months in regards to venues, and can people go in venues or they can't go in venues, or they have to wear a mask or they can't wear a mask, and how do you eat dinner and drink with a mask on, and all that. So there's just a lot going on, and I can't think of a crazier time to be trying to plan a wedding. I mean, really. So the funny part to me is that who would have thought that this is a table centerpiece? Because this is what I would say good third of our weddings come in, and they want cylinders with floating candles and loose greenery, and then they want some flowers sprinkled around on the table. And I'm thinking to myself, are you serious? That's really a centerpiece? But it's all the rage, and I think all of you understand that as well. And I just wanted to simply show putting one together quickly, because the key to it is, again, making it profitable. How is it going to be profitable? How are you going to do it? One of the things we have found to be extremely helpful is that, as you saw, everything that we are doing and using is pre-cut when we go to the venue. So it's already pre-cut and ready to go. And we've actually done some of this for some of our clients, because some of our clients say, oh, I can't afford that. Can I just get the product from you? And so I sell them the kit for the table. So why not, right? And so we just simply sell them a little bit of a kit. And then we just say, you can just arrange, you can have your bridesmaids arrange it. I don't care what you want to do. And we just basically allow them to do that. And then you have a table centerpiece and it's done. That's it. And I know all of you that do weddings have sold this look a million times, because it's the look that's all over Pinterest. Everybody wants it. So they'll do some like this, and they'll do something else, and whatever. I wanted to talk to you about weddings briefly, because there's several things that if you haven't already made some adjustments, you need to. One, do not take deposits. Make sure that all of your, I mean, assuming all of you have contracts already, you have to have a wedding contract. It has to have a clause in there about cancellation, and you have to never call it a deposit. You need to call it a retainer, because what they're really doing is retaining your services for a particular day. So a retainer is non-refundable. A deposit is refundable. So when Wedding World crashed, when COVID came, and a lot of brides were canceling, they wanted their money back. People were struggling whether they should give their money back or not. I've already spent time with them, and and I've already had 3 consultations, and we've already, done all kinds of planning. But if it's a deposit, legally, they could get it back. So just understand that meeting with legal teams, the word is retainer, because they're retaining your services for a particular date. And if they no longer need those services on that date, that's on them, not on you. And so then that becomes non-refundable. However, as a good business person, then you can offer, but I will be happy to move that retainer to a new date if you'd like to choose a new date and do that. So you never want to like really irritate the client, but you have to have your professionalism and your verbiage all in place so that when you're meeting with those clients, everything is done properly. So we have our wedding consultation forms in our computers, and it's all done on an Excel spreadsheet. It's super easy breezy. We fill in the description, we fill in a price, and we sell color palettes. We sell looks and feels. I'm not selling quicksand roses. I'm not selling Sahara roses because I can't promise I can get them. And I put right in our contracts that we will do our very best to get products that will fill the color palette requested for your day. Certainly, if somebody's got this muted tone palette, we're not going to give them bright yellow and bright lime green. We're not going to do that. There's always going to be something available in the color palette. It just might not be that rose. We had a very particular client probably about a month ago now. If I had hair, I would have lost it for sure by then. This is a gal that came in on multiple occasions and wanted to buy quicksand and Sahara roses in advance because she was taking it to her cake person who was going to hand paint the icing to match the color tone of the flower. And I said, oh, okay. And who's going to notice this? But at the same time, it was very important to them. And so we just said, you know, we'll give you, you can buy the flowers and here they are. However, I can't promise that the quicksand is going to be the same tone on your wedding weekend if I can even get it, because if a different grower grows it, it could be different. It's a natural product. So this went on like 3 times in about a 6-month period where they had to come and buy flowers. And it was really crazy, but it's what we deal with, right? When we're talking about weddings. And so the key is to have as many procedures in place that kind of keep them on track and make them understand contractually, you have the freedom to make changes, all right? So centerpieces obviously have changed. If it's a autumn time, they can actually incorporate a few little mini pumpkins and people will just love it and think it's all great. Probably throw them by the end of the evening. But again, for wedding bouquets, this is the look. I mean, this is what people are doing right now. A cream and burgundy tone, a lot of textures, Queen Anne's lace, button pomps, acacia foliage, which is just great. It's a nice substitute instead of Dusty Miller all the time. It's that same dovey gray color, but the leaves are so jagged and organic looking. That's the word that everybody wants. They want an organic feel and an organic looking bouquet. And this fits the bill. This is actually a wedding that we're doing this weekend. So I said, oh, we're doing a program. I'll just do bouquets for the actual wedding so that I don't have to make something extra because it's the exact same thing we're doing. And this is what's popular. And dahlias, roses, pomps, spray roses, it's all in there. It's what everybody wants, Queen Anne's lace. And so that is one particular bouquet, just that kind of loose, organic, airy feel that we're showing. It's always refreshing when someone comes in and says, but I want something with color. So we have this bride going out this weekend too, which is awesome. This has the butterscotch colored dahlias in it, and it has butterfly ranunculus and some tweedia, which is the blue in here. And of course, some of the different roses that are incorporated. Again, just a collection of mixed product. I always describe it as like I went out to the field and I picked a bunch of flowers and I tied a ribbon around it. And they always laugh. And my staff goes, how do you get away with talking to clients like that? And I said, because that's really what it looks like. It looks like a bouquet of flowers that I went out to the field, picked it, and tied some ribbon around it, and voila, there you go. And the key to this is making sure that you're pricing things properly. And when I sell a color palette and a feel, this bride does not know she's getting butterfly ranunculus. I happen to get them, which is great. They're perfect. I always tell my clients, you know, if you leave it up to us because we're the professionals and just work with us on a color palette and an overall structure, whether you want it tight and compact, loose and organic and airy, or a cascade, tell us a shape, tell us a color palette, and let us do our job. And you're going to get a much better looking bouquet than if you tell us every flower, because then basically it's a kit. And I could probably give it to you and you could put it together yourself, which they don't do, and they would never do it as well. But I say that. And so keep that in mind. This is how things can turn out when you don't allow them to be in charge of the conversation, that you're in charge of the conversation. You have to remain in charge of the sale. You want to get their input. You want to get all their ideas and say, based on the 80 million Pinterest photos you just gave me, this is what I've come up with. What do you think? And then tell them, this is the color palette. It's going to be organic and loose and airy. It's going to have a lot of movement, which is beautiful, because this bride, I don't even know which wedding this is, but probably getting married outside somewhere. Hopefully it doesn't rain this weekend. And, you know, it'll be beautiful. I mean, it's a gorgeous bouquet. And I love all the movement in it and the texture. So keep that in mind when you're selling your weddings as well. Better put the name back in it. Make sure she gets the right bouquet, right? And then I said Cascade. The other thing that is popular right now is a cascading style bouquet. And this particular bouquet has featuring protea, and again, the burgundy foliages that we have, and the Sahara roses. These are actually not Sahara. This variety is called Sandy, but hopefully my bride's not watching this video because she thinks they're Saharas. Rodney, don't tell anybody. It's called Sandy, and it gives you the same look and feel. She'll never even notice. But sometimes I have to rein my staff in because they get really convinced that it has to be exact. And it doesn't have to be exact, because I guarantee you when I hand this bouquet to this bride, she's going to say, oh my God, it's better than I thought it would be. It's just beautiful. And that's really what it's all about. Making sure that that presentation of that bouquet, just say, oh my gosh, everyone at the shop was commenting how gorgeous this is. Don't you love it? She's not going to say, no, it's horrible. She's going to say, it's better than I thought it would be. And that's what we want. We want happy customers. I just had a groom come in literally about 30 minutes before we went live tonight. He came running in. He was a week ago Saturday, because they went away for a week. And he just came running in with an envelope for me, because he said, I just wanted to drop this off. Melissa and I just wanted to make sure you realize how you made our day so perfect, that everything was just absolutely beautiful. And I mean, that's what we do this for, right? I mean, I want to be profitable, but I want to make people happy. I mean, at the end of the day, I want to make people happy, because when I make people happy, they tell people they were happy, and then that's how I get more clients. So this is a beautiful cascading style hand-tied bouquet. It's got all the textures. It's got what do you call it? Thistle in here, Eryngian thistle, and the different eucalyptuses, which of course everybody wants. And so, and they're in season right now. So eucalyptus is gorgeous. It's beautiful again. It's those July and early August weddings that I hate, when everyone says, I want seeded eucalyptus. It's like, oh, please, it's not ready right yet. But now it's just coming in gorgeous, and all the foliages are just beautiful. So anybody have any wedding questions, Rodney?
You know, Jerome, the chat window is very quiet. We have a whole quiet crew with us tonight. But
I see Sherry's on there. I do see her name on the screen, and I know she's not a quiet person. Come on, Sherry. Don't you have any questions? She probably turned it on and walked away. She's probably one of those having the adult beverages right now.
Yeah, it could be.
But I know we're getting close on time. So I just wanted to thank everyone for tuning in tonight. And I hope that touching on a few different subjects that we deal with daily in our flower shops right now was beneficial to you. And certainly if you have questions, reach out to Rod, or you can email me directly. It doesn't matter. I'm happy to answer questions. If you have questions, I'd really rather you ask them right now, just because then everyone can learn from the questions. But the association will continue to offer educational opportunities like this, and it's what our mission statement is. And we appreciate those of you that are members. We encourage you that aren't to join, because there's more opportunities available to members. And if you haven't made any plans for a week, for this coming Monday, we'd still love to have you at our foundation dinner. The Michigan Floral Foundation is honoring Jackie Burrell this coming Monday up at Treetops in Gaylord. And it's going to be a wonderful evening celebrating someone that has dedicated their life to our association. And we're so excited to be inducting her into the Great Lakes Floral Foundation Hall of Fame. So if you have the chance, get online, go to our website, let Rodney know you're interested, and we can probably still squeeze you in if you act fast, because tickets are going to close here in a minute because we have to put the number in for the meals and all that. But it's a great time, and the colors are beautiful up in Gaylord right now. So take a day off, come to Gaylord on Sunday, stay for the event on Monday night, and come home on Tuesday. So thank you so much for chiming in. Rodney, thank you for hosting. And
Jerome, great job. Great
Thank
job. Thank you. We really appreciate your time tonight. You're getting lots of thank yous in the chat window from Jen Linehan down at Beautiful Blooms by Jen in Sylvania. Larry Beard down here.
Ohio comes to the house. Hello, Ohio.
So lots of good thank yous. And I want to make sure that we thank, I know you thank them, but DWF for the beautiful product tonight. And also I really want to give a big shout out to Cal Flowers out in California. They are a wonderful supporter of education and actually make these Zoom meetings possible with the nice camera work and everything that it takes to pull these off.
Yeah, Cal Flowers is a huge supporter of not just our association, but the industry on a whole. So thank them. And again, like you said, DWF Toledo is who brought the flowers to me, and I can't thank them enough. They're always wonderful. So
yeah, absolutely. Well, again, thank you all for being with us. I am going to end the recording now. I will have this posted on our YouTube channel. If you go to YouTube, search for Great Lakes Floral Association, you'll be able to watch this video, and lots of our other educational opportunities as well are posted there. So again, thank you all. Have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you on the next Zoom soon.
That was great. Take care. Have a good night.
Bye-bye.